The Tide continues to roll. Another rivalry game, another big game, another win. And if you watch Crain and Company, we told you how this one was going to work out at the end of the day. But Tennessee goes into Alabama. They lose 37-20. David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, Blaine Crain, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver. Guys, look, this game, we can sit here and talk about the ins and outs of it. Deshaun Bishop, the positives for Tennessee, Deshaun Bishop runs for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Talk about garbage time, this, that, or the other. But we would be remiss if we didn't bring up the huge play that happened before halftime, which I think sealed the game, David. I think that put Tennessee so far on their back foot, they were never able to recover. I mean, Ty Simpson goes 19-29 for 250 and 2 touchdowns. You didn't have a rusher over 50 yards, but at the end of the day, you really didn't need it. I thought the defense played pretty well for the most part. You didn't give up more than 7 points in any quarter. You shut Tennessee out in the first quarter, and Alabama and Ty Simpson continue to stake their claim as they move up the ranks.
Yeah, I do want to talk about Ty Simpson because the kid just continues to blow me away. But since you talked about the play right before halftime, I'm glad you started with that because I did want to break that down a little bit here. So it's second down with 9 seconds left before halftime, and Tennessee has already used their final timeout. So in my mind, Alabama knows you're throwing the football. Right? Or you have to know that Alabama knows you're throwing the football. They come out in, I believe it was 22 personnel, heavy personnel, play action. That to me is not the right play call there when you have no timeouts and Alabama is thinking pass. You either need to get, if you're going to throw it, spread it out and call your best man beater or pick play or whatever you have. Or if they're thinking pass, then really run it. I know that's a little bit riskier, or just give your receiver a better ball on the outside because it was underthrown. But I mean, I still thought Tennessee did some good things. And even despite that, that turns it from a 1-score game potentially to a 3-score lead for Alabama. Even then, in the second half, Tennessee forces a 3-and-out to start the second half, a 44-yard TD run in 4 plays. They get a fumble on Ty Simpson, so they still fought in the second half, but Alabama just too good, man.
Blaine, I'll be honest with you. I know they ended up giving up 30 points. The pick six was 7. I thought the Tennessee defense played a little bit better than I thought they would. I thought Bama was going to get to 40. I thought the TTP at 32.5, which it ended up hitting, was one of the best bets on the board. But at the end of the day, Tennessee's been playing with fire defensively, giving up. I mean, you give up 44 to Georgia. You obviously lost that game. You give up 34 to Mississippi State. You give up, I think, 31 to Arkansas. Eventually, it's going to.
Look, I don't know what happened. Maybe Hugh Freeze got to Jake's internet and cut it. But we lost Crain. He's okay. I guess they're getting a storm up there. Going back to this, Dave, one thing I kind of saw in this game when it came to Tennessee on offense, which I didn't like, which I'm glad you brought up the halftime play, which made no sense, 0 sense. You were fooling anybody in Alabama. Everybody who's watching, everybody in that stadium knew that you were passing. But the one kind of thing that I always thought Tennessee's system on offense, the reason why they were so great, was the up tempo of that offense. And I know they slowed it down a little bit this year, but Alabama never seemed like they got tired on defense or were bending over or just had to do mass substitution. So it's just certain little things. And I don't think Joey Aguilar played great. And then on another thing like that, look, if you're going to go up there and run a read on first or second down, like your quarterback at least has to keep the ball one time and make that defense believe, okay, well, look, he'll keep it at the end of the day. And the Alabama defense never believed that. Another huge win by these guys. It just feels like Alabama's just week in, week out, just taking care of business.
The tempo thing is interesting because I'm never a fan of teams just going as fast as you possibly can, and that's your status quo, and you do that all the time. And that's kind of the system that Rich Rodriguez brought in when we were at Michigan. We're going to go as fast as we possibly can all the time. I like the ability to do that. Now, granted, I've never been an offensive coordinator, but if I were going to be an OC, I would like the ability to run whatever tempo on any series and mix it up to keep a defense off balance. Tennessee has slowed down a good bit. I don't know if that that means they don't have as much faith in their defense as they did a year ago. You know, you talk about Joey Aguilar, no, not his best game, but a lot of drops too, man. Tennessee receivers, like, help your buddy out there. Like, just way too many drops. I'll tell you one thing I did like from the Tennessee run game, and we talked heavily in our preview about the math equation that you have in this offense, particularly in 10 personnel with one running back, no tight ends, 2x2, the wide splits that Heupel likes to run. If you get a 6-man box, which Alabama was keeping 6 in the box, then you can run it, but it needs to be a true read. Aguilar wasn't reading a lot of those, but Tennessee was having success on the perimeter against a 6-man box. I think that was the big 44-yard touchdown that they had. They had another big gainer on the perimeter. But again, Alabama's defense they buckled down when it mattered most. One thing I want to say about Alabama on offense, though, despite this awesome win and they're 6-1 and they're rolling, man, they don't run the ball really well. And I know that we've said this multiple weeks and they keep getting away with it. And maybe it won't ever be a problem, right? Like maybe they'll just win every game and win the national championship and they never really have to rush for the 100 yards again in the season. I don't know. But 2 of their top 3 rushers in this game were wide receivers. And I just feel like, Blaine, there's going to come a game where they're going to have to run the ball, particularly in, say, a 4-minute drill to put it away, kind of like what they found themselves in maybe against Georgia, and they're going to need to be able to do that.
Can you run it good enough? Right? You don't have to be an elite running team. Can you run it good enough? And I think Alabama has. I mean, go through the last 3 weeks when they've had to put it on the ground. They've had some success doing it. Look, I love J.M. Miller, but whatever backup they have running around, number 4 is an absolute problem. He needs to start getting more carries. I mean, good God, I think he's huge and can move like that. But again, it's just
Daniel Hill.
Yeah, it's to the point now where you look at this Alabama team and you look around the country, you know, how many elite teams are there really in college football? And is Alabama at this point, would you call them a elite team?
Well, when I'm watching the number 2 team in Miami lose on a Friday night and I'm watching Oregon lose to Indiana, I mean, they're them and the Buckeyes and Indiana, it's like, yeah, they're as close to elite as you can get, particularly with how badly they lost to Florida State in the opener. But let me tell you guys about the bearskin hoodie. Smart people are locking in their winter gear right now because this is hands down the best time to prep for the coming winter. You can already feel it when you go outside. Nice, cool fall air coming. Bearskin is running a 60% off deal right now, but only if you get your hoodie early. This hoodie is built like a tank, 340 gram micro fleece, 10 pockets with a clean, rugged fit that looks awesome. Plus, it zips right in to the heavy storm rain jacket to become 100% waterproof when you need it. I've got both. I love them both. So when it turns cold, wet, windy, anything, you're not scrambling last minute. You get free US shipping, fast delivery, and you've locked in your winter gear already. That's a win-win. Do yourself a favor. Text the word Crain, C-R-A-I-N, to 36912 to lock in your 60% off deal right now. In that Notre Dame USC game, I bet they wish they had the bearskin hoodie and the fleece because it got kind of gnarly there with the weather.
Oh, it did. Look, you want to talk about something I wear every time I go hunting? Every time I go hunting, it's a must. It's all the pockets. It does it all.
Yeah, so text 36912, text Crain to 36912, lock in that 60% off right now. I want to talk about Ty Simpson, man. The kid's going to win the Heisman Trophy. I mean, I know it's October 18th.
You really think so?
It's October 18th. We don't pick this thing until the second week of December. I'm just telling you, man, like the accuracy, the poise, the arm strength, the decision making, and he's on a team. I mean, he's got good players around him. They're rolling right now. I think the kid is setting himself up to win the Heisman Trophy and to be an NFL player.
I mean, and not only that, a lot of it when it comes to the Heisman is about moments and moments late in the season, right? And Ty Simpson's going to be able to have that. I mean, you go look at Alabama, the rest of their schedule, South Carolina, a team that you should beat. You have LSU.
Is South Carolina
at South Carolina?
That's at South Carolina.
At South Carolina, then you have LSU at home, right?
Mm-hmm. Then they get a bye before that one. Both teams get a bye.
Then you get Oklahoma at home.
Yep.
Right, and that could be your moment right there for Ty Simpson if you win that game. Then Eastern Illinois, and then you'll play Auburn in the Iron Bowl, and who knows?
I mean, they should win. They should win all of those games, but in 2025, college football doesn't mean anything. So let's just say they lose one. They slip up somewhere. Oklahoma's still a good team.
Sure.
The Iron Bowl's still a tough rivalry. Let's say Lenore Sellers just freaks out and you're on the road in Columbia and they beat you. Whatever it is. If you only sustain one of those losses, you're 10-2. I don't know how the SEC championship game is going to work out. Obviously, their lone loss right now is to an ACC team in Florida State. Based off the tiebreakers for SEC, it would definitely matter who you're losing to, and they would already have the head-to-head win over Georgia. Obviously, LSU lost today at Vandy. So either way you cut it, if you're Alabama, you're probably still in the SEC championship game. But no matter, you're going to be in the college football playoff if you're 10-2. My question is, let's now roll through Tennessee's. You're at Kentucky. Okay, rattle it off.
Well, you're at Kentucky,
who just gave Texas everything they could handle.
Yeah, I should have won it, to be honest. And you have Oklahoma at home.
Yep.
New Mexico State at home, at Florida, and obviously you in the year with Vanderbilt. Look, I mean, if you're Tennessee right now, I mean, you're 10-2 with losses to Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, which, look, it was kind of the James Franklin Penn State problem for a while. You're losing to the Buckeyes and you're losing to Michigan, but you're 10-2. But now the playoff has tripled in size. You know, it's not a 4-team playoff anymore. And in a year where your quarterback quit on you the day before the spring game and Joey Aguilar comes in, if they can find a way to do that, I'm really interested in this Oklahoma game, you know, because you can tell that John Mateer is still suffering a bit from the hand injury. They did rush for over 100 yards today.
Blaylock, I'm telling you, is nice.
Blaylock had himself a day. It was really fun to see them finally get going on the ground there. But Tennessee's going to score points. You know,
I mean, it's going to come down to, obviously you have to know what the rest of the field is going to lay at the end of the season. But look, there's a 9-3 Tennessee team with losses to Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma with a win over Vanderbilt. I mean, that I don't think that gets you in.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, hey, Tennessee Vanderbilt right this second. I mean, that's going to be a great game.
I'd take Vandy, to be honest.
I know Tennessee fans in this state we live in don't want to hear it, but man, I can't wait for that game. That's not just little brother anymore, the way Diego Pavia and that team's playing with so much confidence. I guess the last thing I'll say is, you know, I can't believe the way Alabama has bounced back since week one, you know, and it wasn't just because that wasn't just some loss, you know, it was the way that they lost. They looked weak, they looked undisciplined, and not only are they undefeated since then, these long sustained drives on offense, the 4 touchdown drives they had today on offense, not counting the pick 6, average of 10 plays per drive. The defense, when they're healthy, they're getting after the passer. It's just, it's fun to watch. It kind of looks like vintage Bama, man.
Now, it's business-like, right? Yeah. And as good as the players like Ty Simpson, all this, like I think Kalen DeBoer and this staff, you want to talk about catching heat after that Florida State loss, after everything that got said, to bounce back like this. And what's terrifying when it comes to Alabama, it's always terrifying when it's quiet, right? That's when you need to be worried about Bama, when they're just going about their business.
See, that's why I loved him so much in the opener against Florida State, because Thomas Castellanos was popping off at the mouth, and Bama wasn't really responded. Oh, and they really didn't respond to Diego Pavia, and I thought, oh my goodness, that's the worst thing that can happen. Then they go out there and they lose, and now look at Florida State. I mean, I don't know what the score is right this second against Stanford, but they still haven't won an ACC game. They just threw a perfect game against the Tide in the opener. They got punched in the mouth, and they've responded every way that a program can respond at this point. And what are they? What are they, 6-1 right now?
Yep.
6-1.
Yep. What a win.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to rattle that cage and wake up that dog. Coney, you got anything else?
No, man. I just what a great weekend of games, and we'll have a full recap tomorrow, AP poll reaction. We'll see if there's any coaching movement tomorrow. Other than that, you guys be safe in the storm.
All right, see y'all later. Appreciate y'all watching.